It might surprise you, but as we get older, after age 65, our body's capacity to process alcohol reduces noteworthy. What was formerly a harmless now. A glass of wine might be quietly putting stress on your liver and interfering with your drugs or interfering with your sleep in ways that exacerbate diabetes, heart disease, and memory loss, according to studies published in The Lancet Public Health. Demonstrate that even moderate alcohol use in seniors are more likely to have cognitive decrease by 35% as opposed to abstainers. Certain well-known alcoholic beverages may appear innocuous or even beneficial depending on antiquated guidance. But the reality is that some types of alcohol can be harmful to the elderly. Deteriorate dehydration, raises blood pressure, disrupt equilibrium, and even get in the way of using drugs in risky ways. You'll discover that soon, along with 4 far more secure substitutes that won't make you feel as though the pleasures are being relinquished. Of drinking in public, make careful to finish reading, because the worst type of alcohol for elderly people is one that is still frequently suggested in health publications, and it could be undermining your heart and brain without your expertise. Let's get started. If you haven't already, before we delve in, subscribed. However, I advise you to click that press the button to activate the bell so you never don't miss this additional health advice tailored to type 1. And if you like this video, the comments. If not, enter 0 to allow me to understand how I might create more quality material for seniors. Seniors should avoid the 4 types of alcohol. Tips for senior health: steer clear of 1 hard liquor, vodka, rum, whiskey. Hard alcohol: too much, too quickly, too dangerous. Initially, a straightforward glass of a fresh shot of vodka or whiskey could look like a harmless pleasure, particularly for people who have savored these beverages for decades. It's customary and cozy, and many people consider it normal. But what about aging? Corpse doesn't show up as soon as it. How significantly it's changed from what we're used to. Altered after the age of 65, your liver breaks down alcohol more slowly. Your central nervous system and tolerance decline system becomes more susceptible to disturbance. That once friendly nightcap can now be quiet. Thief, in contrast to hard liquor like wine or beer, provides an extremely potent dosage of alcohol that has a strong, quick effect. Doesn't only help you unwind, it might also harm you. Prior to you becoming aware of the margin for age reduces safety, and that shot you may now lead what you used to handle with ease. With a quick loss of balance due to dizziness, blood pressure decreases, and worst of all, these are not little falls. Dangerous falls are the primary source of injury-related mortality in individuals aged 65 in the US. Additionally, hard liquor is deeply common in seniors, compounding dehydration problems such as constipation, dry skin, and even renal strain. But possibly the most, its interaction is an underappreciated threat. With drugs, such as blood pressure tablets, sedatives, antidepressants, and these don't work well together. With a strong spirit, the outcome is heart anomalies, perplexity, even depression of the respiratory system. The cost is more than simply a headache. The following morning, your safety is your autonomy and your capacity for thought clearly, and over time, the cumulative consequences on the liver of repeated strain and nervous system may result in chronic cognitive deterioration that is not only temporary. Fog, therefore, even though a stiff drink could feel like incentive for senior citizens, it might be discreetly become an expensive compromise. It's not about judgment. The goal is to preserve the years. You earned them and are living them. But if there are other options besides hard liquor, concealed threat in your glass, what will be the next kind of? You might be even more surprised by booze, because it dons a charming disguise. If you continue to observe and discover, if you find these ideas useful, please leave a comment first below to inform me about your. Let's proceed to the point now. Number 2. Desserts of 2 inexpensive sweet wines. Low-cost sweet wines. Wine coolers with flavors are a sugar trap. In concealment, something is disarming regarding a sweet wine glass. It doesn't burn like alcohol, it's easy to take, and its sweet scent is frequently enticing. Reassuring, even for many elderly people. The preferred beverage over the holidays, quiet evenings, or dinners. But behind them there is a hidden risk associated with sweetness that the body is much less capable of manage compared to it once was. The most often manufactured confection. Wine coolers and wines are more than only fermented grapes, and they are quite filled with artificial added sugars, sulfites, and other flavors and preservatives. Although they could have a mild and innocuous flavor, they trigger a series of biological. The sugars can cause stress in the elderly body. quickly raising blood glucose levels is particularly risky for almost 1 in 4 adults over 65 who have diabetes, and the abrupt changes in blood sugar levels that follow may result in foggy weariness. Irritation of the eyes or worse with time nerve and eye harm sulfites are frequently employed to maintain color and shelf life. These are two more hidden adversary. They have been connected to headaches, irritation of the respiratory system and inflammation, especially in elderly asthmatic patients, or diminished lung function. There's these wines' subtly noticeable acidity destroying dental enamel and aggravating acid reflux is a prevalent problem that's frequently age-related. Choking alone, the cost you incur isn't merely an indulgence period, it could be days or even years off your health. When you use alcohol, your body pays for something sweet and inexpensive. Hindered by elevated inflammation, digestion, as well as increased cardiovascular danger, the beverage that used to make you feel jovial may now be considering your body down in ways that are invisible to you but will eventually feel even more worrisome. The fact that these sugary wines frequently provide a misleading feeling of security. However, if sugar is what is a hidden saboteur, it has been referred to as the friendly one. You might want to get ready, because what comes next might alter how you look at that chilly bottle. Always drink 3 beers, especially light ones. Be not as light as you. I believe that for a lot of senior citizens, drinking has a comforting nostalgia, a backyard cookout, a sporting event, a toast with longtime companions, and light beer is one of the alcoholic options that is frequently seen of as the secure choice. Lower alcohol is easy on the body and recognized by society, yet what appears light can appear to be a significant burden. For elders in silence, as well as eventually the reality is that beer is it's not as mild as light beer. Pretends to be the source of the slight buzz, and carbohydrates are concealed beneath the foamy head. Preservatives and purines that can upset the delicate equilibrium of an aging body. Beer is about more than simply calories. Contains a lot of refined carbohydrates and sugars that turn into glucose fast, resulting in energy and blood sugar increases. Accidents for almost half of the elderly pre-diabetic individuals are not children. The problem is a metabolic, but B's connection is far more worrisome. Gout is an inflammatory and painful condition. Illness that spreads more widely after B's high purine content at age 60 can significantly increase uric acid levels, causing flare-ups of joint discomfort that may endure for days. What was formerly a light refreshment may be the primary source of ongoing suffering. Not to mention the influence of beer on sleep and bladder function are two of the most vulnerable systems in later life. Beer's diuretic properties make it worse. Urinating at night interferes with sleep cycles and plays a part in dehydration, which are all connected to tiredness, balance problems, and memory loss. Among elderly people, the cost of that cool bottle that you pay is not always instantaneous, but gradually it erodes your energy, purity, and consolation. The price of inflammation, weight gain, aches, and sleepless nights, joints, and worst of all, there's a gradual decline in health masquerading as a harmless custom. While beer may make it difficult to distinguish between the next category, is harmful and harmless, of alcohol completely eliminates that risk. New level with the majority of hidden dangers. Seniors never anticipate this. Prepare, because there is less mixing in mixed beverages. They're as calculating as you believe, and possibly 4 mixed beverages and cocktails that are dangerous mixtures, and cocktails a poisonous mixture of alcohol and sugar. They are vibrant, joyous, and frequently cheerfully poured. Cocktails have become the preferred beverage during parties, getting along with others, or just relaxing. However, behind the cubes of ice and these ostensibly enjoyable drinks are frequently the most hazardous for elderly adults, not due to their flavor, but due to the fact that they conceal their true. Usually, mixed cocktails are created with hard liquor concealed by syrups used as sweeteners, fruit juices, or carbonated drinks, a mix that provides a dual effect of high alcohol, and for seniors, this combination is heavy in sugar. The sugar content is very detrimental. Alone, a lot of drinks can compete with that of a dish that raises blood sugar levels within a few minutes for individuals who are already addressing insulin resistance or diabetes, which may cause bouts of weariness, hazy vision, and even hazardous blood sugar level crashes. But the bigger risk might be in the actual alcohol, due to the fact that blended potency is hidden by drinks, so you don't feel the immediate impact of such a deceptive perception of control. Makes excessive drinking more likely without being aware, particularly in social settings for elderly people who might already have trouble coordinating their memory or pharmaceutical regimens, which turns into a dangerous combination, both literally and metaphorically. The synthetic tastes and cocktail ingredients may also be a hardship. Acid reflux is exacerbated by the liver and causes inflammatory reactions in the body, and when paired with typical sleep aids such as antidepressants, impacts of blood pressure medications or treatments can even be erratic. Hazardous, the cost you incur isn't only the hours, days, and days are displayed in the glass. Many years later, what starts as a fun-filled night out could result in fog, thinking disorder, disrupted sleep, or a quiet burden on the head and heart that builds up over time. For elderly people looking for longevity, strength, and clarity, these beverages frequently provide the contrary. But there is joy and optimism. Actually, on the opposite side of awareness, not every drink is prohibited. Up next, you will see 4 options that not only safeguard your health but also improve your experience, may perhaps surprise some people. Together, let's improve on page 4. Tips for senior health. Substitutes for alcohol in seniors. 1 moderate glass of red wine. Wine in red, amiable and intelligent red wine has been used for ages to increase a certain respect, a representation of leisure, culture, and even health for senior citizens. It could be among the limited number of alcoholic drinks that can nevertheless provide more than simply a comfortable flavor. However, the key is not in the inadequate, but in the section in contrast to sweet cocktails or harsh liquors. Red wine, especially those that are high in resveratrol, provides something unique. Potential to promote heart health, circulation, and even mental acuity. This potential, which was discovered in the red grape skin, has been connected to enhanced blood vessel performance and decreased inflammation, both of which are major issues for elderly people who are at risk for memory loss and heart disease. Reduction. Consuming a small 5-ounce drink of red wine occasionally could be beneficial. Increase HDL, the good cholesterol, and safeguard arteries from oxidative stress, although moderation is more than simply a rule. A need in excess, including red wine, loses its allure and turns into liver strain, elevated blood pressure, and disruption of sleep. The magic is in moderation. Red wine also has substances that could protect against disorders of neurodegeneration by crossing the blood-brain barrier. Direct oxidative stress in the brain tissues. Seniors frequently say they feel more warm and content following a little glass, not from drunkenness, but from its inherent effects of vasodilators and mild relaxing. Nevertheless, selecting low sulfite, choosing organic options is crucial. It reduces undesirable responses such as flushed skin or headaches, which are more typical in aging bodies. And red wine consumption. Wine with food, particularly good fats or lean proteins, can aid in reducing absorption and safeguard your stomach. When selecting and consuming red wine with purpose, it might turn into a custom of enjoyment as well as safeguarding. But what if you could still the wine's elegance and make it even less demanding on the body without compromising? The next option is either social joy or taste. Accomplishes that by providing refreshments and moderation in each drink, and 2 low ABV spritzers with low ABV sparkling water and wine spritzers sophisticated dilution. There's a lovely thing about being simple and finding happiness in what's mild but not overwhelming. For elderly people who still value social grace of a beverage but wish to respect their altering bodies, a low ABV mist provides the ideal compromise. It's about giving up something that your body can cope with care. A mist created by mixing a small amount of sparkling water with wine turns a typical drink into something cool, lighter, and farther away, less burdensome on the system, as it reduces the alcohol concentration by at least 50%, enabling you to savor the flavor, scent, and custom without running the danger of brain fog, sleep issues, or dehydration that cans of full-strength beverages. As we age, our kidneys grow increasingly sensitive, less forgiving, and less balanced. A spritzer makes our sleep more brittle. Honors everything. It hydrates while it makes you feel good and slows you down in the delivering just enough to feel in the greatest possible way, included and raised without being tipped the risk scale, and when infused with a few berries, a citrus slice, or a mint sprig turns into more than just a drinking, turns into a presence moment. And enjoyment. Additionally, there is power in the visual cue, a large, fizzy glass light catching. You don't require a heavy pour to experience what it's like to festivities, and since spritzers are often taken slowly, they naturally encourage mindful drinking, which benefits you. Pay attention to your body and refrain from unintentional excessive consumption. For elderly people who don't enjoy socializing of drinking but desire to do so politely, its purpose. The spritzer is a silent, the first revolution that uses whispering rather than screams. However, what if you could take pleasure in the similar feeling of serenity and custom without drinking any alcohol and still gaining something that is beneficial to your health, healing for your digestive system, your vitality, and even your attitude? The following option could be unexpected. Alcohol-free or low-alcohol kombucha. For you, 3 kombucha versions of alcohol, the digestive tonic. The body can sometimes tell you what it must be done, not with words, but with exhaustion, slow digestion, or a state of things simply won't go away as we get older. Grows more sensitive, and its impact on everything from cognition to energy becomes deeper, which is where kombucha enters the market, not as a fad but as a carefully fermented kombucha tonic. Provides a mild, organic fizz that fuels tea-based celebration and healing living cultures, as well as a trace of it provides probiotics, B, and sweetness. Organic acids and vitamins that support re-establish the gut's internal ecology. For elderly people experiencing constipation, bloating, or decreased absorption of nutrients, this can be more than just a drink. Be a silent demonstration of self-respect. As opposed to alcohol, which frequently aggravates the intestinal system and impairs cognitive function, kombucha has the ability to increase energy, to increase concentration, and assist the immunological system. Its acidic taste could take a little getting used to, but that intricacy is a testament to its depth. Many older adults discover that with consistent moderate consumption, particularly alcohol-free or minimal versions of alcohol, they feel lighter, balanced, and even more sensitive. At the custom of consuming kombucha can becoming as significant as drinking. At one point, wine or whiskey was poured into a glass that is bubbling and chilly, satisfying the hand and the brain. It provides elderly with a means of to engage in social situations without sacrificing everything and to feel comfortable in their bodies, regardless of what they are consuming alcohol. However, although kombucha may help with the what if there was a drink inside, that could relieve your nerves and mind while maintaining that joyous ignite without any alcohol at all, or sugar. What follows isn't merely a drink, it's a change in perspective. A new type of cheers to a healthy aging process. 4 mocktails with herbal adaptogen. Mocktails, social happiness without the use of natural adaptogens. Side impacts. A sense of subdued dignity exists in deciding what would help you in a world that frequently confuses enjoyment with drunkenness. Mocktails made with adaptogens from plants provide a fresh form of enjoyment that respects your health as well as your years. These beverages are more than simply booze substitutes. They are expertly made encounters that soothe the nervous system, regain equilibrium within yourself while still feeling joyous in your 2 adaptogens, such as ashwagandha, ginger, lemon balm, holy basil, and your senses are not dulled by chamomile. These plants might help you feel more present, are renowned for their capacity to control stress hormones, lower inflammation, and gently stimulate the brain without overstimulation. For elderly people who struggle anxiety, restless nights, or medicine caused exhaustion. These components are the subtleties of nature. Answer 3. A sparkling mocktail. Fresh herbs, citrus, and adaptogens in water is much more than just flavored water. Sensory practice. The aroma of mint gingerbite, the calming sound of lavender. They are beautiful. Drinks help people connect without the drunken stupor or the subsequent regret. Morning, you're still alert, grounded, and completely in charge of more than just your body, but of your happiness. For people with long-term illnesses or on intricate drug, mocktails eliminate the hidden risks that frequently include alcohol and no blood pressure, no blood sugar falls or rises, medicine interference. Only food camouflaged as pleasure, and possibly the most crucial, you remain a part of the moment, still celebrating and raising a glass existence without having to pay the bodily or sentimental cost. Now consider the repercussions when these deliberate little decisions add up. Your clarity is enhanced by your energy comes back, and you demonstrate to others that aging, being gracious, doesn't mean being constrained regarding intelligence, but what occurs when you start substituting not only beverages but replacing old habits with more intelligent ones. That's where the actual change occurs. Choosing to age healthily starts with 1 drink at a time. Choosing to age well, 1 drink at a time. A time isn't about deterioration. It's concerning refining, and similar to the body, our decisions can change gracefully. Honor and purpose, once thought to be a sign of celebration, company, or solace, assumes a new significance following the 65 years old. What used to calm us may now live a strain. What once aided us now, sleep might deprive us of rest. What once united us and could now be removing us subtly from our best themselves. But the reality is that you must sacrifice delight in order to obtain health. Just need to be aware of which pleasures are still. Each drink we've investigated is safe to hold. It is not about denying in this guide. Enjoyment, redefining pleasure is the goal. Whether it's a red wine glass enjoyed, a sparkling spritzer during dinner, having a glass of gut on a sunny porch, rich mocktail, or amiable kombucha, the process continues with soothing herbs. The link is still there. However, the repercussions do this isn't about being flawless. It's regarding understanding of the need to protect the mental acuity and the power of your heartbeat, your bones. Every sip turns into a choice to respect your body, your path, your future, and possibly the most crucial thing is to remain completely gift for the individuals and occasions that most important shortcuts will always be available in the globe. Empty and sugar-coated traps pleasures. But aging properly is a practice of rebellion against everything that it is selecting life over memory, numbing over the existence of fog over, avoid the cost of doing the wrong thing. Drinks are frequently initially concealed. A little lightheadedness during a restless night more than normal forgetfulness, although overfortunately, those expenses mount up over time. Take advantage of even the tiniest enhancements. Changing one dangerous beverage for a nourishing one may appear insignificant. However, your liver, brain, and equilibrium, and your sleep is a potent, long-lasting gift. The right to life is something you have earned. These years with complete clarity and steadiness very powerful. So pour a glass away from the past, but your choice for the future to safeguard, since the truth is becoming more. Growing older doesn't mean that celebrations are over. Only the start of the festivities. Distinct and much more prudently, these teachings are intended to encourage you to live life to the fullest and sincerely. I'd love to hear from you. Pause to consider and share one thing you have discovered and intend to put it into practice in your own life, and let's help each other on this path to accepting these truths. Please let us know if you liked this video. If not, feel free to post a remark with one. Feel free to leave a comment with no criticism. It's very important to us. Please remember to like, please subscribe to and share our YouTube channel for more such material. Thank you. Thank you for viewing, and happy living. Living according to your own terms.